And then I didn't win the second year, but I won the third year. And so what it does is entrepreneurs is it challenges you to be better at what it is that you do. It challenges you to say, how can I promote my business?
If I'm going to get an award, why should I have to pay for it?
About 400 or 500 nominees. Mm-hmm. They're not getting in free.
Hey everybody, welcome in to this special edition of the Chattanooga Business Elite. It's uncut, folks. My name is Greg Funderburg, and I'm so excited to be a part of this entire group tonight. How are you guys doing?
Good.
And by the way, they don't know anything about the questions. This is totally uncut. So this is going to be the truth and getting deep and dirty tonight about what people have asked, the questions they're talking about on social media. But before we get to any of that, let's start with you, Shay. Introduce yourselves.
All right, I'm Shay McCowan.
Hello, I'm LaShanna McConnell.
Hi, I'm Tanisha Urban.
I'm Mark Franklin.
I'm Michael Williams.
I'm Aaron Thomas. Kevin Love.
Maria Gilchrist.
Terrence Law.
Jessica Bennett.
Cynthia Evans.
And Lynn McGill.
So we've got the introductions out of the way. Starting with you, Shay. Mm-hmm. How in the world did CBE start 4 years ago? Was it 4 years ago or 5 years ago?
It was, I guess, y'all can help me. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
About 5 years ago. It actually started in 2018. And somebody called me and they was like, hey, Shay, I went to an award show. I think this is something that you could really do. And honestly, that's how it started. I literally started figuring out like, okay, how can I get this done? Let me look and study and look at all this. I think the first person I hit up was Terrence Locke. He was the first one that I hit up. And the second person is actually not here. It was Stephanie Sims. Okay. And she was moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And she said, I can't be a part of it because I'm moving. And I was like, oh, okay. And then after that, it was like me, Maria, and Michael. And we met up at Terrence's house and we swore we was about to have this huge event that we were... Yeah, it was going to have millions of dollars after it. Everybody was going to love us when we came out with it.
Like at 100K.
Yeah.
So Terrence, when she first brought this to you, what were your first thoughts?
We can make it happen. Okay. That was my first thoughts. We can make it happen. Until we ran into the budget.
Of course. So when it comes to like a budget, the venue space and scholarships, how did you guys get the budget part together? Because that's difficult for a lot of people starting out for an organization like this.
Well, honestly, because we didn't have anything to go by. Chattanooga Business Elite has really been, we've learned the whole way. We didn't have a model to go by. We built the model. So that's why it's so passionate for all of us, because this is something that we built. So after we sat in the room and thought it was going to be this and saw it, and then we started looking at the money, it's like, okay, we need more people. So I literally went home, prayed, and I was like, all right, God, you got to tell me who. And I went to an event and Lynn was speaking. Mm-hmm. And so I sent Lynn a text afterwards, and she was the next person I texted and asked her, did she want to be a part of it? And literally asked, I think the only person, because Jessica's new, she's probably a weekend, but everybody else here, I sent a text message to, and I was like, hey, here's the idea. I'd love for you to be a part of it. God told me to tell you to be a part of this. And so every last one of them sent me a text back and was like, I'm in. And so I was actually telling a guy named Errol what I was doing. And he said, I got a friend that's trying to do the same thing. He's wanting to do the same thing or whatever. And I was like, who is it? He was like, Kevin Love. And I was like, I don't know him. And so I was like, but I'm going to hit him up because ain't no need of us doing the same thing, let's collaborate and let's see what's going on. So I told Terrence, I was like, hey, there's this guy. They said his name. He was like, I've heard of him. He was like, hit him up or whatever. So I hit him up and he was just like, okay, I'll come see. And from there, we've been family.
So Kevin, when she hit you up the first time, were you thinking like, this is my idea, I'm not going to do it with you? Or were you immediately on board to collaborate?
No, for me, I had to fill it out first because I pitched the idea numerous times prior to me and Shay to different organizations and different people, and no one was on board for it. It was during the time Chattanooga was going through into a lot of crime during events, and so they weren't putting money behind black events, and nobody really believed in the vision. And so when I ran into Shay, it's like we immediately clicked. Like everything she was saying was on board, everything I was saying, because I already had the show laid out already at the time. Of course, we had to fine tune it as a team, but I had the show already in my mind. Like, this is what we're going to do. It's kind of similar to them, just without the budget part in mind. But for me, I had an idea of how much you needed to make already in order to pull it off. And I think that's what we kind of bonded. Became our family. Shay had all the other parts. She had the other components. I had more the operational side of things. And now we family. I didn't anticipate, honestly, being in the group because I come from the party promoter background.
Okay.
And so my thing was collaborate. We do an event. We do one off. We split the profits and we go our separate ways. If the event does well, we'll do another one. And so for me, it wasn't originally becoming part of a team. It was more, let's do this event. Let's make some money. Let's get past it. But once we sit down and, introduce everyone, it just kind of fell in place.
So Lynn, when you think about, there are a lot of big sponsors a part of this every single year. Initially, in the very beginning, how difficult was it to convince big sponsors to back you guys for something like this?
I will definitely say this. You have to have your stuff together, your ducks in a row. Because you're talking about doing something that has never been done in Chattanooga before. So we had to literally sell them on the idea of basically helping our Black businesses and entrepreneurs. We wanted to bridge the gap, here in Chattanooga. So it's always going to be, tough in the beginning. But the thing is how you sell your vision. And if you're excited about it, and I think that's what we do so well. We are a team, we're a family, and we just have such an excitement, enthusiasm about ourselves. So now, people, they're asking us to, for them to be a sponsor with us. So we have definitely turned the leaf there.
I will say this, the first time I went to the first show, like many people, just looking like, okay, what is this going to be like? And it was really nice. Everybody was having a good time. People were dressed up. Everybody, behaved for the most part, I think. We'll get into that a little bit. But Tanisha, when you think about this type of show and to put together something like that, reflect back on that first year. What was it like to see so many people? Because the thing about that I noticed, it wasn't just people of Black people coming. It was all different races there.
It was. I just remember that first show just being really, it was like a nervous energy about it, but it was like a very special and magical energy. Like when you went into the room and like you said, you saw the diversity, and you just saw like, oh, it's come to fruition. Like it's happening. And it was just very special, and I knew that we were on to something great.
So after the first show, after the voting was done, people get on social media and they get to talking. And so the first question is, and anybody can chime in, when you first saw the comments come in at the beginning, what were your first thoughts? Well, Shannon.
It was a lot. Of course, you're going to get some of the negativity and then the positivity. And we turn and like to look at more of the positivity of the comments, the people enjoying themselves. They spoke well about the show. They was excited just as well as we are. So that's the most thing that I took away with it was the excitement and the positivity that the people left for us.
What about you?
So we always turn the frown back upside down. That's what we do here. Actually, I will say this. A lot of times people, we took their criticism, we listened to it, and we were like, how can we make it better? Now, some people now, they just negative. Now, I'm just saying, you can't turn their frown upside down. But where people had, I guess like this year, people, they were asking, will we have food and stuff at the show? So those are things that we take in consideration. Yeah. So we just definitely turned all of that negative energy, like when people do like a whole Facebook Live on you for like 45 minutes, that just, they don't have anything to do with their life. But outside of that, it just let let you know that because bad publicity is just as good as good publicity. Yeah. So that's what we've learned.
What do you say to people who had to say the first year that some of the people who were on the panel of the organization being nominees in categories? How would you guys like to respond to that?
Well, I feel like I was a victim.
So,
No, I mean, I just said I was a victim. I was a victim of that very first thing. I think me and a few other people here was a victim. Me being winning best caterer and somebody pretty much saying that I was undeserving of it. It bothered me, but at the same time, I didn't let it bother me because I had people surrounding me with love and letting me know, like, hey, you actually work for this. Yeah. You know, I don't think we got all this money to give me a $20 trophy. So I don't think this show was built around me and the other people in this group to win an award. Thanks. You know. And, you know, I actually wanted to withdraw, but Shay, anybody know how spiritual she is? She prayed over me and was like, no, we're not going to allow that, at least not this year, until we kind of figure things out, because you are deserving. You've done a lot for your community. You've done a lot in your particular area. You've mentored people. She pretty much told me my whole life that I didn't even remember how stuff I've done, that I was deserving of that. So, yeah, so for somebody to tell me that, it did bother me, but when you got like-minded people surrounding you, God-like people surrounding you, you kind of get past that stuff.
So hearing that, have y'all changed how that works for future?
I don't, and like he said, he wanted to withdraw from it, and I was like, no. Me personally, I feel like anybody who's actually got out there, worked hard, made sure to make their business known or whatever, they deserve to be able to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. Me and Kevin have kept the integrity of the show to make sure that we handle that part of it, and you're still be able to be a nominee. Mm-hmm. So you don't get to see all the voting and all the you don't get to see all that. We'll take care of that. You be a nominee, and I think it's only fair. Right. Now, some people have their opinions, and I say, you know, my pastor says it all the time. If you don't like what I'm saying here at church, go build you another church.
Right. And I want to say this because I didn't win the first year. I was on the board. I was nominated, and my center didn't win. The first year we lost to Numa, and we should have, because they have longevity in the community. They have sent children, grandchildren, grandparents, their parents through, so they had the notoriety in the city. And so what I did was I took the opportunity to learn from them. I did more marketing the next year. I PR'd. I made sure that my program kind of had some bells and whistles to it. And then I didn't win the second year, but I won the third year. And so what it does is entrepreneurs is it challenges you to be better at what it is that you do. It challenges you to say, how can I promote my business? If not just to win this award show, but just to be better and known in the community. And I have to echo what Terrence was saying to your first question. I was disappointed. That was my original emotion after we had such a great, empowering award show and we got the negativity. Because if you were in that room, you saw how many people were just there to celebrate Black excellence. Not even about trophies or awards. There were people that did things that I didn't even know were done in the city. So after we did all of that, only to wake up and see the negativity that we had, I was like, so you didn't get anything out of what was like, okay, forget the awards, forget who was nominated. Like, you don't feel the empowerment of this. That was disappointing to me. But I do agree. We took it and turned it around. But I think all of us had an initial disappointment at the way we were responded to. Yes.
And so voting is already underway right now through November 30th for people to know how it truly works. So there's a panel of people on this organization who has access to know how the voting is going. And does anyone else on the group have access to see? Because I'm sure people want to.
Just me and Kevin.
You and Kevin. Y'all got it. Go ahead.
That's the biggest misconception is that we get in. So my experience was a little different. I expected that type of response. I expected people to have that suspicion, but I used it as like a learning tool to educate them. Like, I wasn't self-nominated. Multiple people had to nominate me. And I think that that's the biggest misconception, that people are finally getting this go around in 2022, that it takes other people to nominate you and then other people to actually vote for you in a majority. And I think the fact that we don't get to see the vote also, I'm glad that we brought that up today. But those two pieces were educational for the public, and I think that they caught on to it this year for sure.
And of course, being a journalist, I see the comments on social media. And so another one of the comments was when, looking at the nominees, they just nominate, they're just putting their friends as the nominees.
Yes.
Who wants to respond?
Oh, wow.
I would say, me personally, I don't have a bias to anyone that's on the ballot at all. And so if we're being truly transparent, like some people don't get nominated. The people that's really complaining didn't nominate themselves. So you're not even on the ballot one time to be nominated. And so it makes it difficult for us to reach people that's not even putting the effort in to be highlighted or recognized in the community. And so it's just, whenever you're innovating something, it's going to come with its challenges. And that's one of the things that we look at as a team and organization. Like, it's just one of those things that it's a speed bump. A speed bump meant to slow you down a little bit. Like I said, we garner all feedback, so any feedback is welcome. If anybody want to do a debate, they want to do anything, I always tell them I'm open to whatever. I'll go on any podcast, I'll go on any show, talk to anybody, whatever. Because just because you got a different opinion about what we're doing, doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Right.
But aren't your friends, they're the ones who are supposed to support you and nominate you, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be your first clients.
Right.
Those are the people who support you and really should put you on the ballot. So your friends vote for you. Those should be the people who vote for you.
So when it comes to nominees, how many people have to nominate, said John Doe? How many nominations will John have to get to officially get on the ballot?
Right, and let's be honest, there's some categories where all you need is one. Nominate yourself. We have said that so many times. Nominate yourself. However, we are growing, so one nomination probably won't do it. It won't do it anymore. But and like I said, we're still building our model of this and how this works. We have some categories where, say, let's use hairstylists.
Yes.
Hairstylists, you got 60 million hairstylists that they nominate, right? The first 100 of them have the same amount of nominations. So we sometimes have to, go through there, see, and it's kind of hard. You'll see some that have maybe 5 nominees, and then you'll see another one that has 10. It's because we haven't came up with how we are going to cut that off. You know what I mean? It's like if they all have the same amount of nominations, then we have to put them all in. So we're still learning on how to do that right now. But in some categories, you really just need your name on there one time.
Yes.
Just once.
Just once. So when you think about the categories and people look at some of the categories, I saw this question online. I look at the comments. I don't comment. I always tell people, I'm one of those people, I'll look, but I don't comment because this doesn't even bother me. But when you think about the nominees, some people may say, why did she get nominated? She's only been in business for a year. But why did he get nominated? Because he don't even have any clients.
Well, Greg, this is not the longevity award show. So when I see those comments, I get frustrated because I'm like, it's not about how long you've been in business. It's simply about being nominated and being voted.
And I'll be honest, Greg, it really is a popularity contest. And people don't understand or recognize that. It's a popularity contest. Anything that you are competitive in, you got to put a little work in to win overall. And so it's part of it.
So when you think about people putting themselves out for on social media, how can people work through that to get their name out there to get votes?
Self-promotion. I'll just say self-promotion. I think that's something that I've done, if you look back, I do that all the time, but it's not often received. Like when I first started doing it, it wasn't received that well because it's like she's always talking about real estate. Then it caught on like, she sells real estate. That's what she does. That's what she has to market. And so the same goes for when you become a nominee and you need people to vote for you. So you need to make sure that you're telling people and that you're self-promoting and reminding them to vote for me. And if you don't do that, you can't expect, I think some people's egos are way bigger than like reality. So they feel like because I am who I am, everybody's going to vote for me with me remaining silent. And it doesn't always work that way.
That's true.
I'm going to give y'all an example, like if Terrence don't mind me even telling about it, but I did tell him in a certain category that he feels like he should be strong at because that's what he puts his work in. He only had 3 nominations. And he's like, Shay, I got 4 people who work for me. So a lot of times when y'all think people are nominating you, they're not nominating.
Right.
I mean, because it takes time to go there and nominate, you know. So, I mean, you really do have to stay out front. I'm going to be honest, when I think real estate, I do think Tanisha. Because that's every time I see Tanisha, that's what it's associated with. So, of course, you got it. And I do see that with Terrence, but I'm saying don't always think just because that everybody's out here just like, oh, Greg deserves this, so I'm going to, everybody doesn't think that way. Or they'll tell you they'll tell you they did it, but they didn't do it.
So when you think about, another thing I saw online is someone said, if I'm going to get an award, why should I have to pay for it? And so that was a discussion on social media about why should I have to pay $25, whatever the cost is, to be nominated. So anybody want to respond?
I mean, well, Greg, we have about 400 or 500 nominees. Mm-hmm. They're not getting in free. Full production show.
Or just let me ask it better. There's what I gathered from what they were asking. Why should I have to pay to be a nominee? I'll pay for a ticket.
I think that was true. That we worded that. We could have worded that better.
Okay.
We split it up. It was the same price as a ticket, but we put a nomination fee, and that was our bad. We kind of worded that, and then a ticket was cheaper, but it equaled out to be the price of a ticket. Yes. And so I think that was misconstrued. You weren't paying to be a nominee; you were just paying for a ticket. And we used that fee to gather your information at the time as well, and that was an easy way for us to get your picture, your email, all that kind of stuff. So I think that moving forward, now you only purchase a ticket. There's no fee associated.
Okay.
Right. Also, that initial fee went towards the scholarship program.
Okay.
So that's how we subtracted from the event to go straight to the scholarship portion. Was how we was able to give out the scholarships that initial year.
Speaking of the scholarships, my day job that I work somewhere else. I know we talked about the scholarships on air,
yes, sir.
But for people who say, I didn't know they give scholarships, what avenues do you I'm going somewhere with this. What avenues do you take with the organization to connect with the local schools and organizations where kids are looking for scholarships, just to make sure that they know it's available?
The initial years, parents, I showed up. I went directly to the schools, the schools of Hamilton County, Bryant, Tyner, East Ridge. I went to Howard. I don't get too much help, but the help that I did get, I do appreciate I did get. But I pretty much go straight to the schools. I put together a PowerPoint presentation, me and a few other colleagues in the group, and we presented it to them. And some of them received it well. They did their job like they were supposed to. But it did get difficult, like going into like the third year, and I will take accountability because just because I put it out once don't mean that everybody knows about it. So I do hold myself accountable in that area, but I also understand too that these are the same students that are applying for other scholarships in other colleges. So I did have a moment where I felt like I didn't have to hold their hand. When I watch them on social media and they're posting that they're getting $50,000 grants and scholarships and all this, I'm under the impression you know how to fill out an application. If you're able to raise that much money to go to college, you can't complete a $500 scholarship. You know what I mean? So, and speaking on that, I do believe that the portion of money that we were giving out was making particular students probably hesitant because they probably are getting much bigger. So I am proud to say that we are raising our funding this year to give out $1,000 this year to 5 students this year.
So that's 5 $1,000 scholarship. I just want to make sure that's clear. 5 $1,000 scholarships. For people watching, how can they apply? Because I'm sure parents, grandparents, how can they apply and what is the deadline? And how important is it to make sure all of the criteria are checked off to make sure your application counts?
Yeah, it's very important. The deadline is the first Friday in January. I'm not sure what date it is. The first Friday in January. And they have to have a 2.7 GPA, create a business plan and an essay to follow. We're looking to get them to document a few hours with CBE so we can get to know them as well and see what their needs are in the future going into college. Because that's one of my long-term goals for the program is to be able to help them after they're already in college. So we're cool with doing the scholarships, but I do believe that we can do more, and that's a long-term goal. Hopefully we can go into next year doing that long-term goal. But yeah, it's very important that they fill it out and they can find it on our website, or they can contact me personally.
All right, turning to the show. A lot of people talk about the show. They love the show, but then I heard some people on social media saying it's too long. Why is the show so long? Why are people talking so much? Yes. So, who wants to talk about that? Start with you, Kevin.
Yeah, so the show has been long in the past. Traditionally, I say this is going to be our 4th different show that we've done in the 4 years. And so modifications had to be made. Each show, we did a show, then COVID hit. All right. And then the next year we did a virtual show and had to get everybody to come and record without spilling the beans on who won and what categories. Last year we just was back in public, but people were still kind of fidgety a little bit because COVID was still active. And this year it's just like this is the first time we get some consistency in the same spot for the show. And so the modifications are going to be made to shorten it. We actually moved the day. So historically it was on a Sunday. This year it's on a Saturday, and it's an after party as well. So it'll cut down some of the things throughout the show because we have the after party. And so it'll shorten the show in that regard. And the ultimate goal is to get people that win in those categories to still celebrate with the people that's in attendance. And so you can take photos and celebrate and do all those things as well. So we got some modifications to shorten the show.
When you talk about those modifications, are we talking about cutting speeches?
Yeah, so we're going to cut the speeches. This year, there's going to be a select amount of speeches, and those are going to be highlight awards. But for primarily, it's going to be, I say like a graduation, man, in the sense where you get up there, you take a photo. You get up there, you get the awards, you get to take a photo. People get to see you on stage. You walk off the stage. We have something set up where you can give a speech in the background. When we take video, you still get the amenities, get photos and all those things when you get off the stage. But to shorten the show and be cognizant of people's time, we got to make those modifications.
I will say for the record, I've been to other award shows locally and they don't do speeches, so.
Right.
So,
And let's say when they was ready to go, we was ready to go. We've been there since 8 in the morning. So just like y'all was ready to go, we were. So when y'all said, hey, it was too long, oh, we thought the same thing.
I know there's a lot of different award shows out here, but I think we're making a change and we're very cultured. So I can definitely see and pray that we continue to keep our culture within our own award show. Because we're special.
When you say the culture, for people who are wondering what that means, elaborate.
African American.
We understand that, but in what way?
Hit me out, kid.
I would say like a family reunion vibe. You go to a family member's house and you celebrate, or you're going to go celebrate with your family. So we just want to keep that culture to it, keep the music, keep the entertainment, keep the celebration.
Okay.
We're like BET Hip Hop Awards, but we also like the Oscars.
Gotcha.
I think the phrase is giving each other flowers. Right? Like a lot of times, especially in our culture, we wait too late to give our businesses accolades and just put them on that pedestal that they need to be put on when they're doing great things. And so I think this award show brings that, right? We're not waiting. We're giving you that platform in that you can actually get up there and accept your award and get the feedback from your clients, your friends, your family on what you're doing in the community and how you're impacting them.
I will say that for the record, for the first year I was there and the years after, noticing so many businesses who've been here for a long time were so proud that, they've never been honored in that way. What was that like for you guys to see some of these business owners who've been part of this community for decades and never got that recognition?
Well, I think we still can do a better job. We're missing a few landmark business owners, as I like to say, that's historically been around. But we did a good job of bringing in a part of the show called the Homage Awards. We get back and we pay homage to these people that's been in the community for a very long time. But it's always a pleasure to see people happy and in their element and getting recognized for all their hard work and whatever it is you're doing, right? To kind of go back to a question earlier, was talking about people being on a committee and being nominated. It's like these people work hard. Every day they work hard. They wake up. They have countless nights where they're not sleeping as much because they're trying to run a business. And it's like we can't negate that because they're sitting on a committee for us to kind of help spread the word. We can't negate the hard work that they put in it. Right. So for us, it's just one of those things. Want to chime in, Maria? No?
So also, you know, the show's been on Sunday for the past several years. Big change for 2023. It will be on a Saturday, and there will be an after party. So what went into changing the date?
My feedback was like, listen. We want to celebrate. We are too excited. We are too, and it reminds me a lot of like culture. It reminds me a lot of like Zulu ball, and it gives me that vibe in New Orleans. And I always wanted to bring that culture to Chattanooga, and it's this in the BEC Awards, but I think that was the missing element, is that we're all together, we all look nice. We need to celebrate to the fullest at the end of this. That's a lot of part of like New Orleans culture that I would like to bring to Chattanooga, and now we will be here with the BEC Awards because we need to learn to not only honor each other, but celebrate and party together, dressed up, looking good, and in a very classy way.
But it also helps having sponsors because the show is actually sponsored, and we were able to add an after party this year because of the fundraising that we've done. So historically, that helps as well. When people support and buy tickets and donate to the cause, it allows us to do different things in the community outside of just the award show. But it definitely helps in that regard.
And for people watching, if they want to be a sponsor, how can they do so?
They can reach out to us on our website. All the information is on our website. Or you can reach out to any one of us individually, myself, Shay, or anyone that's on this committee individually. They'll send the information over to you.
So Shay, ticket sales. So how can people get a ticket for the show? If they want to get a table, if they get a table, what comes with the table?
All right, so there's two different tables. We have the VIP table, which comes with food. It's from the Trade Center. Okay. It's not none of the black businesses that are. So don't y'all talk about us. It's their food, but
so that's on the menu.
That we don't have completed yet, but that's on the VIP table. It's $1,000. Then the regular tables are $600. That comes without food. So it's up to you to decide if you want to eat or if you want to wait or however, but those are the two options. Actually, if you go to our website, it breaks it down. He actually has it in bundles where you can get a table at the show, you can get a table at the after party, or if you want a section, or if you want to just get a ticket here, just go to the website, chatbusinesselite.com, and it has all the information.
And tables seat 8 people.
8 people.
8 people.
And so the $600 table, you just get a table.
Yes.
I just want to make that clear. Don't be disappointed.
And guess what, y'all? It costs to have this show. I mean, like a production alone was thousands and thousands of dollars. So I need for people to understand we're not trying to get rich off of BEC.
We are not.
I think people think like they look at the numbers and they think, they see everything that they're like, they make it. I'll tell you, it's not.
And for people who don't know, just to put it in perspective, for a lot of people don't know how much it costs to put on a show. They don't know how much it costs to rent the convention center. So I think y'all put the financials on your Facebook page or some page or whatever.
I think Michael wanted to correct somebody one day.
Just hypothetically, for a regular year, what would be the budget
for a show?
What are you talking about? Venue,
everything.
About production.
Just so people know.
So you want to give you a ballpark number?
Ballpark for people who want to know.
It's upwards of at least 40,000 was the minimum for the first show, and it went up since then. But the minimum bottom was 40,000. For our first show last year, probably was close to 65,000.
Okay.
And so it cost us 65,000 last year to put the production on. That's including The big monitors and screens that you guys see. There's the trade center. That's all the sound, the lights, the trophies, the decorations, the magazines, everything that's just included in this show. It's a heavy expense.
And Greg, I was just telling Nene, we were on the phone the other day, and we have one event that carries us for a whole year to give y'all all the free events that we do that are free, all the workshops, all the whatever. So we have one event bringing in. So it's not, and I'm gonna tell y'all, since we're gonna be transparent, there's a lot of times we in the messages, hey y'all, storage money, the money for storage is due, can everybody send $25? Yes. We are actually putting money in.
Yes.
So
this happens.
This is a volunteer army, guys. I really want people to understand that the people that's sitting before you, they volunteer their time. And it's truly out of the goodness of their heart, because we really want to see our city move the needle forward for our community. Right. So there are a lot of late nights that are spent doing this without pay. And then we get your little nasty messages in our DMs, and we've been up, and we're away from family, and we've been up all night, and we got to hear you. Please stop. But what I'm saying is, this is truly a volunteer army. There are especially this month until after the show, we will labor or log probably 12, 15 hours per day. Oh, and then, if there are people on this board, mostly all of us have children. And jobs. Take Tanisha, take Michael, take everybody, for example, they have jobs, they have spouses, and they have businesses, and sporting events. So when you're sending your comments, please be considerate of the people who are really trying to make our community, because I'm not a native of here. So when I first moved here, so this will be my 17th year here in Chattanooga, I've never seen, Black people come together like how we have brought them together. I've never seen that. So I'm proud that we are helping bridge the gap into our community. We have moved the needle from 4 or 5 years ago to this point. And I can't even imagine what we're going to be able to do next year, especially if we all collaborate, get on the same page, stop with your hating comments, and let's just make this work and make it happen for Chattanooga so we can get the Black dollars circulating amongst one another.
And as we wrap up tonight, any final thoughts? Anything I may have left out?
I just want to say, I think the misconception with the group is that we don't take constructive criticism, or we aren't open to suggestions or comments. I think it's a way for you to say everything.
Yes.
And we've taken plenty of suggestions and made changes to the show, how we do events, how we do nominations, voting. It's all about approach. When you stayed up late, sometimes it's the whole daycare. All our kids be running around. When you've done all of that and not getting paid for any of it, and people they can just be so nasty, and I'm a hothead by nature, but I try to be as nice as possible, but I think it's all about approach. If you have a comment or you want to suggest something, we're always open to that.
Right. And understand it comes from passion. I don't think a lot of times I'm trying to hold back our main two. Michael and Terrence. I'm trying to hold, but I understand where it comes from. I'm not their mama, because I have some people be like, Shay, you need to get them or whatever. And I'm not their mama, because they are adults, and I can't just be like, no, you can't say that. But I do try to encourage them just to leave it alone, because persecution is going to come. We already know that, so we're prepared for that. It's part of the blessing sometimes, or whatever. But at the same time, just understand it comes from passion. When you're putting in your time, you're sacrificing your money, you're sacrificing so much. And honestly, all you're wanting is to celebrate.
That's it.
People, and you're wanting to highlight what they're doing. This is special to me because I watched my mother. She was working for TVA. I don't even know what she was at the time, but she got laid off and she had $2 that she had to raise. She had to figure something out real quick. So what she did, she started her own catering business. I would watch her, and I'm going to be real transparent. We lived in a trailer at the time. I watched her in this trailer just coming up with meals and doing things and getting stuff together. And I knew she was being a hard worker. And then my mom worked so hard that the same place that laid her off is the same place that hired her to be the caterer at their events. Wow. But I watched her cry. I watched her work hard. And that is the same thing that these same entrepreneurs are going through right now. We see the glam and we think, oh, it was just easy. It's not easy when you're getting told no. It's not easy when people are not giving you the same help that you might see them giving somebody else. So we want to get out here and celebrate. Hey, we know what you done went through to get this far. So this is what this show is about, is us coming together and celebrating and highlighting one another and saying, I see you, girl, and I'm proud of you. I don't care if you didn't get up there and get the award, but we see you.
Yes, we do.
And I'm going to be honest with you, these big businesses and everything, when they call us to get the booklet and everything, they want a list of all the nominees. They're not asking for the winners. Right. Mm-hmm. They want to see all the nominees. So if you made the nominee list, you made it.
Yeah. And also notice you guys have the Hall of Fame. Yes. So people who've won for 2 consecutive years, you take them out of the competition and put them in the Hall of Fame. So it gives other people an opportunity. Yes. And anybody, y'all can speak to that.
Tanisha, Hall of Fame because you're a Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, this is the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Who else is the Hall of Fame?
Tanisha and Terrence.
Yeah. And it's basically what you said for the nominees who have won 2 consecutive years in a row. They're put up in the Hall of Fame, and we like to honor them as well as for us. I know the first year we gave them a brunch, and this year we're going to do a dinner for them. So we're excited about them, and we're happy that they're aboard, and this gives other people the opportunity to keep pushing forward, to keep, putting their business out front so that maybe they can be the next Hall of Famer come along.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think initially I felt like, dang, I don't get to, because I'm a competitor. I like, that's just who God made me to be. But, it's good competition, good friendly competition, iron sharpens iron type of thing for me. And so when we first got the news, me and Terrence were both like, I don't like it. I'm going to be just honest and transparent. But since then, I've grown, and now I see the bigger picture that it allows other people to come on. We get to celebrate, other Hall of Famers. And I just want to say that, this is a beautiful thing. It did wonders for my business. When I won, I was new in real estate. I had only been doing it for a couple of years, but it helps to really just catapult my career, and I hope it does the same for everyone else, and that you use this as a platform to really put your business out there and keep it out there. Right. And for everybody that gets the BEC Awards and that likes it and that loves it and that shares it and that can't wait to come this year, we just want to say that we love and appreciate you. And for everybody else, we love you too.
Yes.
And I just want to remind y'all, like Shay said, it comes with the territory. Right. You can either respond or react. You don't have to. But we love y'all, and I cannot wait until January.
Yes. I'm excited. It's my birthday weekend, so y'all better celebrate.
Bring her gifts.
So in television news, we're always taught to have thick skin. Mm-hmm. And so some of the comments I've seen for me personally and other people in my industry, sometimes I'm like, wait a minute. And you guys don't see this side of me, but I have been on the receiving end typing, and then the Lord comes over me and says, you cannot send that out. So I want to ask all of you guys, when you think about being a part of this organization and the negative feedback you get, how has it helped you develop a thicker skin? Starting with you, Terrence.
I believe I have thick skin. Every situation is totally different. Also, I understand my position with the organization. I'm not able to probably speak as freely as I would like to. So that's a plus side for the organization. And I'm not the one at the top, which is perfectly fine. But overall, I do believe I have thick skin. And sometimes you have to understand when people don't understand the concept of things, you have to give them time to understand first before you react. And I believe going into year 5, really going into year 4, I think we're grasping, people are starting to grasp that concept to avoid having thick skin.
Okay. Tanisha, what about you?
thick skin, I feel kind of like you. I strive in like adverse environments. So there's something about it like motivates me. I don't know. But so I'm kind of used to it, and I don't necessarily show my hand. So you're not going to know how I feel about something. I'm not going to give you that pleasure, that opportunity. So that's kind of how I deal with mine. I'll just kill you with kindness and keep it moving.
Lynn, what about you?
So the beauty part of, when people are like typing their comments or saying whatever, we have each other. Mm-hmm. And we can, call one another or, do a whole FaceTime group chat. I cannot believe she just said that, and so it actually allows you to vent to one another. And we're not going to put it on social media because, like she said, we're not going to show you our hand because at the end of the day, it's about celebrating one another. Yeah. So we have each other to kind of vent to one another about what's going on.
Okay. What about you back in the back?
I think collectively we have a nice group of personalities to kind of help each other balance to when we're seeing those comments or getting that negativity, we can kind of lean on each other, through our chat groups or our private social media, and that we can kind of say, hey, let's scale it back before you type that, right? Let's rethink this and then present it in a way where it's professional PR, right? So I think we've learned. I mean, it's growth. I think this group is great about that. We have so many professionals in this group that we can kind of lean on each other and get that thick skin that we need to push through. Because at the end of the day, we're just trying to make this event and this organization better, right? And that's the thing. It takes a village, and so I think we got a pretty good village to
We do, yes.
Kevin?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't see it most of the time. I'm gonna be honest. They'll take this stuff in the group all the time. I'm not on social media.
He don't care.
But I don't get bothered by it. Like for me, I see the bigger goal. I see the vision, and I know it comes with its fair share of negativity and positivity. But like I said, I'm willing to have a discussion, a debate, or with whoever, because I know the nights that we lost sleep. I know the process behind all this. I know, so I'll be honest, I don't see half the stuff, but I do try to play crisis management when they bring it up in the right.
If they got a problem, just go send it to me.
So, Aaron, you've been quiet.
Yes. I don't talk much. So pretty much, man, they're like my family, so don't nobody really come at me directly.
Okay.
I'm new to Chattanooga. I've only been here for like 5 years, so don't nobody really come at me. But whenever they come at any of these people in this group, I do get upset, but I don't say anything on social media. But in the group chat, I'm like, man. in the private group, I'm ready to jump. But I don't say that on social media.
Don't take it on social. What about you right here?
Well, as you know, I'm new to the group. Just been here for a couple of weeks. But I would say, by me being on the opposite end last year, I was one of the nominees. And I did see a lot of the hate comments. But for me, I was so new to it. I was 6 months into business, and I was totally shocked that I was even nominated. So for me, it made me feel it made me believe more in myself, in my business. And I was just so happy to even be in the nominee category with some of the top boutique owners like Michael that I looked up to when I was starting my own. And so for me, the hate comments, I honestly couldn't believe it because we don't get this a lot. I've been here all my life, but we don't get times or opportunity to celebrate Black people in a positive way, especially businesses. And so I just felt that for me, when you think of Jessica Bennett, I want you to think of someone that pursues like joy and happiness. I want to be able to leave a mark on you. And so a lot of times I don't react to negativity because I want you to see that Jessica Bennett is someone that shows love, showers love, and just for the people, honestly. And so when I was invited to actually participate in the group, I felt so honored because, for one, I didn't even think that, you know, my business being so new and young even qualified or even, you know, was nominated. And then for them to see something even more in me and wanted me to be part of something so huge in my eyes for Chattanooga, I just felt so honored. So
That's what it's about.
Well, Shannon?
Oh well, me personally, I don't deal with negativity like that. I'm turning everything negative into positive. You know, I just think there's a way that people should react, no matter what the situation is, and to be able to put on a great event as such. You know, we all expect positivity. However, a lot of people don't give it, but in my eyes, that's all I can see.
Okay. What about you?
First 3 years, I did not have thick skin. With all the time and energy and everything that it took to just do what we do, it was frustrating to see people say what they have to say. But I'm not much of a talker, so whatever, I wasn't going to respond or anything like that. But this year, I have done much better, which I think the people have done much better too. But the stuff we have seen, the bigger picture. There's a bigger picture. So now I have learned to just, you know, it's okay. You feel how you feel. But this is the bigger picture, and we're going to stick to that.
Okay. What about you, my friend?
I'm the definition of growth. No, seriously, because people who know me, like, I'm super passionate and I'm super loyal. And I'm like, you know, the hard work that we put in, not just me, but the group. I'm like, you know, little girl, little boy. Like, no. The thing that I do with the group is I respond to messages and stuff like that. Like, I do that really well, captions and stuff like that. But then on the flip side, you know, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready for war. So, but it's like Mark said, there's a balance. And, you know, I had to, because I learned a lot from all of these people. That's why I started my business. I was, you know, just from being around the people in the group, like, they motivated me and pushed me and supported me. And I was able to launch my business. But they also, like, level me out as well. Like, you know, do we need to pray? Delete. But, you know, just knowing that you're not going to please everybody. It's just something you're not going to do. Somebody is always going to have something to say. And it took me a minute to realize, like, if they talking about you, you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they talking about you, it's constant BEC, bacon, egg, and cheese, whatever you want to call us. It's constant. Were buying the tickets first. Yes. They were showing up because they just wanted to see, you know, what was going on. And now I didn't respond. I was just keep scrolling.
Well, can I say something? Just thinking about what Michael just said for the first year of buying the ticket first. I remember Shay saying, you know what, guys, there's people out here, got their dresses, their suits and everything, and they haven't even bought a ticket. So just going back to the very first show, it was so exciting. It was even exciting to me to see other people who was just beginning their business, whether it was makeup, clothing, and different things like that. I myself was in Dillard's, and I went and purchased a pair of shoes, and the first thing the guy at the shoe department said, "Are you going to that award show?" You know, it was the buzz. It was the buzz. And then it was people who felt like their business wasn't capitalized or up there to where people can go to them, whether it was clothing, hair, makeup, were going to those people to get their makeup done because the other people was already booked and busy. So it gave opportunity for the upcoming people to, you know, and then I know Michael, you know what I'm saying, go to a lot of different people, you know, for facial, and a lot of us do, you know, and we are able to see what they can do and to put their business out there as well. So, I mean, I know I love CBE.
And finally?
So I actually thrive well when I'm considered the underdog or underestimated. So those comments actually fuel me to be better. And I think that that's what I kind of bring to the group. You know, the first year they were like, all they're doing is an award show. They don't even care about businesses. Okay, bet. So now we got monthly business workshops that are free. Yes. You can come and we can help you to level up your business. So what else you got? Because whatever it is, it's going to catapult us to be better. So I actually, I have a thick skin because I do well. I thrive on, so you don't think we can do that? So let's show you that we can. And I'm more of I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm not going to respond to you, but bet. And then I'm going to show you.
Sounds good. The Chattanooga Business Elite Uncut tonight. Again, the award show will be on Saturday, January 28th. Get your tickets today. And don't forget, you can buy a table. You can get a table with food and so much more. Go to chatbusinesselite.com. There you can get more information. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Greg. We love you, Greg. We love you.
For the record, they had no idea what I was going to ask.
None.
I think they were expecting me to come as TV Greg. But
You're cool. I like this Greg.
good night, everybody.
Bye.